Okay, now I'm seeing. I am now seeing. All right, I think I fixed it. All right, can anyone hear me? All right, awesome. Yeah, there was an issue with the program. It looks like I fixed it, at least for now. No, I didn't. I didn't set up my mic before I went live. I thought I did, but I apparently did not. So, first thing, there's going to be a giveaway once we hit 100 subscribers, and that giveaway is going to be the CRS-8 mission patch from SpaceX. I can neither confirm or deny whether I've ever worked there, but I have an employee mission patch from there that I'll be giving away once we hit 100 subscribers. All right, I've had a few ideas for the stream, and looks like we'll be reading a few things from Reddit. I mean, when don't we, though? We pretty much always read stuff from Reddit. All right, give me one moment. I know you've already given me several moments. Just give me one more moment. All right, to start things off with, we're going to go ahead and read 2-sentence horror stories for a few minutes. See where that takes us. I had it pulled up, but it shut down when I had to shut down the original stream. Shut down my whole browser and everything. All right. All right, so in case you're not familiar with 2-sentence horror story, r/2-sentence horror, basically it can only be 2 sentences. And if the title alludes to something of a story, if the title alludes to the story, which usually it does, it starts off the story, then there can only be one story in the actual description. So here's an example. Title is "It's Hard Being a Cam Girl." The actual description is "Especially when you find out." I'm not going to go ahead and sit there and I'm not going to go ahead and sit there for every single one and describe what the title is. It'll just be a given. Just letting you know if you don't normally read 2-sentence horror. This was posted by Cubed Circle. The door to hell was but a glass door with the word "Enter" printed on it, and I refused to open it. When I blinked, however, the door suddenly said, "Rente." Okay, I see what they were going for. You can be anything you want to be, my parents said. They didn't have enough time to know that I wanted to be an orphan. Jesus Christ. Daddy loves me too much. It hurts. Not to brag or anything, but I'm something of an expert when it comes to alcohol, wine, liquor, and spirits. Now then, Montresor, where is the... Jesus Christ, I can't pronounce this word. Amontillado of yours. I don't know what an amontillado is. I'm not educated. I'm sure my wife is in the chat. She can probably explain it. Oh, hey Jeff, how's it going? Going back and forth. You know what? It'd just be easier if I go ahead and throw everything off to the side. Okay, now I'm working with multiple screens here. I can hear a dog. I can hear a dog. It's my sister's dog. A nice police officer came to my house to talk about a dangerous serial killer who had been on the loose for a couple of weeks, so I invited him in. Weird that I have lived in this neighborhood for years, but I have never heard of an Officer Bundy. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's no bueno. Run. Run, for fuck's sake. Run! I scream, willing my legs to go faster as I see him gaining on me. Pretending someone's after me is a great motivator when hunting for the quicker ones. Nice. Serial killer in training. He's the next Officer Bundy for sure. My daughter loves being buried up to her neck in the sand. Her face lights up when I come here to the next day. This grammar. I hate messed up grammar. Her face lights up when I come to get her the next day. Actually, I think I just read it wrong. There we go. I just realized I hadn't switched the transition yet. Okay, here we go. The woman in the headscarf was used to slurs and taunts being thrown her way. If her harassers didn't shut up when they saw the snakes poking their heads out from under the folds of fabric, they did as soon as she turned around. Medusa? Okay, Medusa, I think. Oh, froze. Okay. I'm dumb. I'm an idiot. I thought kidnappers were supposed to be evil, but I'm starting to think mine is just misunderstood. Get some Stockholm Syndrome right there. Our children's faces lit up as we plugged in the Christmas tree. It had taken us hours, but we'd finally sanded the skin thin enough to let the LEDs shine through. Oh my God. My dog wagged her tail with a smile covered in mud, but happy to come in after a long time outside. It hurt me to slam the door in her face, but I'm not allowing whatever force that brought her back from the dead to invade my home. Man, he must be living next to Pet Cemetery. Use it while you can. All right, I need to fix this program at some point. Oh, I can see. Okay, I'm going back and forth between comments and Reddit. I'm good. Yeah, it's been a long day of work, or not a long day, a long week of work. But I'm still kind of new where I am. I just started at another aerospace company at the beginning of the month, so it's been fun. It's mostly just learning this new job. I've been trying to get into quality assurance for a while, and finally broke into it. It's once you're in, it's easier to get jobs with it, but it's really hard to initially get a quality job. I've done the work before, I just never had the title. So it's been a fun week. It's not hard. It's just a lot of reading. It's all right. You tried your best. I patted the sobbing surgeon's shoulder. My hand passed clean through it as she cried over my lifeless body. I don't know why my wife's messaging me when she was in the comments. Yeah, more like Reanimator. I laughed as the auto-generated caption said die. Quit fucking laughing came next. Oh my God. Yeah, I would be absolutely terrified if I saw that. No, I'm already paranoid. I'm already paranoid enough. Jeez. My daughter's room keeps getting messy no matter how many times I clean it. I can't believe I'm still having to do so when she would have been 18 this year. Sorry for my stuttering. So I normally take a while to edit after I get done. I'm not the best at off the cuff stuff. That's why I've taken so long to go live for anything. I just, bear with me. I'll eventually get my sea legs. I'm going to drink some of my, I'm also drinking whiskey, so it should be less intimidating for me. Don't drink your problems away. That's a bad idea. That's just what the Air Force taught me. No one else should do so. Sometimes I ask myself if I'm still a good person. I have to ask myself because you can't answer me anymore. I wonder what he did. I've been wandering around for a while, and I approached a man in the graveyard. As he escorted me back to my grave, he said, "Don't worry, you'll get used to it." Jesus. I guess zombies are real after all. My date told me that exactly 1 year ago she was involved in a fatal car accident. After dinner, I offered to walk her home, and she led me to the cemetery. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. And if you stop struggling to get out of those ropes, I could make you feel the same way about me too. Eventually, she probably will. Once she gets the Stockholm Syndrome too. Yeah, I'm all good. Is the mic too loud? Let me know if it's too loud or not. I can turn down my gain a little bit. But yeah, I think you left earlier. I ended up not bringing the stream down, or I did. I can't actually remember. But yeah, I didn't set my mic settings before I actually went live. I thought I did. I tested everything out beforehand, and then I canceled out of the software. I unplugged my mic for some reason. I was just testing. I kept hearing some static, and I plugged everything back in, but it was after I brought the application open. So it was being really weird, and it wasn't happy with me. So since you weren't here earlier, I'll go ahead and explain it again. So I can neither confirm or deny whether I worked at this company, but the giveaway once we get to 100 subscribers is going to be a CRS-8 mission pack, a CRS-8 employee mission patch for SpaceX. Now the cool thing about this is that there's going to be a set of numbers on there. It's going to be the only one with that number because that is an employee number. You won't get a number on anything you can buy online unless you buy it on eBay or something. But the number is to signify what that employee number was that received it. And the thing with SpaceX employee numbers, the longer they're there, the lower that employee number goes. So I didn't want to give. I have quite a few mission patches. I didn't want to give away like my super low numbers yet. So it's not like way up at the top, but it's about 4,000. I think there's like 7,000 employees. Well, 6,000 when I acquired it, but Like I said, I can't I can't say that I've worked there, so I don't want to get fined $5,000 for each instance. Okay, thank you. I'm glad that the volume sounds super loud in my headphones, but it's probably because I have it jacked up. I should probably turn it down on my headphones. Okay, we'll get back to these. So, so for everyone that wasn't there, I can't until I get better at this. I can't really tell how many people are currently that are currently listening. Um, so I'm just gonna guess it's two for now. But we're reading two sentence horrors. So it's r/slash two sentence horror. I'm on the wrong tab. Okay. Jillian had caught Santa Claus. The bear trap in the fireplace had its hold on the fat man. Gripping her machete, she smiled. The empty spot on the mantle between the Easter Bunny's foot and Cupid's heart would soon be filled. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go ahead and just assume that she was on the naughty list. I don't think any kid that was on the good list would do that. She was never really good at handling rejection. She'll probably realize that when she starts getting drowsy. Suffering from PTSD and dementia, the war veteran surveyed the playground through his scope from the hill above. Children ran about laughing and playing, and when he spotted his target, he shot the perv in the creepy green van right between the eyes. I feel like that's less of two sentence horror and two sentence payback. Not really payback. Two sentence justice. There we go. Ready to come home with us? My new mommy and daddy said joyfully. I tried to respond, only to find my mouth had been gagged. Yeah, okay, so I have a kid, and it's the exact opposite. He tries to run to other families to get them to take him, and we're like, I swear, he's fine at home. He just, if they, he loves other kids, and he's just like, oh, I'll just go home with you. I can hang out with you forever. So, yeah, exact opposite problem as that person. When I was 16, I was fiddling with the lock on a car trunk when the owner came back and caught me. He said, "Don't touch that. You're in here." Yeah. He said, "Don't touch that. You're in there for a reason." When I saw, oh, there we go. When I saw Mommy, I ran so fast I tripped. Thank God the room is padded. I didn't mind when he touched me there. I figured a voice of God would just try to help a young boy. Dang. That's like some 90s. I don't okay, yeah, that's a big thing in the 90s. I can't pronounce this, not even going to try. Nope. Next one. People often open two-sentence horror at night. I would know. It's easier when they're distracted. Yeah, nobody's behind me. I'm good. The most difficult thing about designing a girls' dorm building is working off two blueprints. The official one and the one with all the crawl spaces. Well, you need to make an extra buck here and there. Just install some cameras. You're fine. No, that's bad. I'm sorry, you can't see him. He's much too unstable. I couldn't scream. My psychiatrist made My psychiatrist had made sure of that. They say that it is most effective to pray with your eyes closed. That way, you won't see the demon in front of you, listening in. There's a lot of churchy ones here, huh? I'm about to skip to something longer. It's more of a voice exercise, I guess, for just doing small 2-sentence things. Fuckers always said, every cloud has a silver lining. As I cradle my dying son, rubble all around me, I couldn't help but wonder if that phrase included mushroom clouds. Somebody commented, this is just morbid. War never changes. Fallout 4. Okay. Let's say 2 more, and then that'll be it. And then we'll go on to something else. Yellow used to be my favorite color. But that was before I can't pronounce it. Ypres, Ypres. I don't know how to pronounce that. Never seen that word before. Clutching my heart, I collapsed to the ground. My retriever rushed. Clutching my heart, I collapsed to the ground. My retriever rushed over, licking my face in desperation. As I slipped into the darkness, I faintly smelled blood as his increasingly frantic attempts began to turn into nibbling. That's sad. Thank you. I'm glad that you like these. I'm still kind of looking down about the... Oh my God. I'm halfway stuttering and halfway like not... I keep stammering. That's the word. I'm still kind of down about the one we blew up last week. Look, we can't afford to route the intergalactic highway around every little planet with a nice blue shine to it. That's, I feel like that's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy there. Okay, well, I know I said 2 more like 3 more ago, but 1 more. An irradiated Japanese woman gave birth on July 14th, 1946. Though it only lasted for a few hours, the wailing of the child that barely resembled a human remained with her long after it had ceased. Okay, so for everybody listening, we could either keep reading 2 more 2-sentence horrors. We can go on to r/creepy encounters, r/, what was the other one? Scary stories. Creepy encounters, they're supposedly all true. Scary stories, it could be either way. It looks like usually they mostly post true stories, but they also post false. I don't know what you guys are looking for. And then 2-sentence horror, you've been listening to that. Also, there's free horror stories. If you're in the mood for horror stories that I haven't asked for permission yet. Because I definitely did not ask for anything off of r/no sleep. I ask for permission usually. All right. I guess I'll flip a 4-sided coin. No, I don't have dice on me. All right, well, I'll read a couple more of these and get back to it later. I'll read a couple more of these 2-sentence horror and let me know what you guys think about what I should do. r/scary stories, r/creepy encounters, 2-sentence horror, r/free horror stories. And in r/free horror stories, it'll tell you whether it's true or not. To fool everyone, I went to get baptized. How was I supposed to know the water would go black? When you bring a toad close to an open flame, It is compelled to jump into the light, subjecting itself to a painful, fiery death. My job would be so much easier if people were like toads. Oh, here's a 2-sentence horror post. I feel like I've seen this username before. This is posted by Sergeant Scare. Who could that be? Here, the post reads, I got 100 followers today. I just wish they'd stop chanting and leave my yard. Man, they just won't stop chanting and leaving my yard. I don't know what's up with that. I sat in silence for 2 hours listening to the cloud of drills, whizzes, and cracks and human screams. Finally, the dentist called my name. That, for some reason, reminds me of Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know if any of you have seen that. But anytime I think of a dentist and screaming, Little Shop of Horrors always pops into the back of my head. It's a good song. The Little Shop of Horrors, Little Shop of Terrors. Yeah, I'm not here to sing for you. Unless you want me to. She made sure to keep a steady hand. Scalping requires such a delicate precision. She stared into the eyes of her dying friend as she slipped the scalp over hers. Here's to finding out if blondies do have more fun. I don't like sharp things. A genie granted my wish to live forever. It sure is lonely inside of this lamp. Actually, that goes along with an old myth for that. I used to be like, I used to obsess over mythology, and that was actually a thing. I remember it being in some book I read that if you ask a genie to live forever, it'll take you inside of the lamp and turn you into a genie. And usually, I think they go free, but that's why it was supposed to be one of the forbidden rules. Okay, MJSK, I'm glad you liked them. Yeah, the concept sounded weird to me at first. So I always kind of avoided it, and I'd always see r/true 2-sentence horror, and I was like, all right, I'll finally give these a shot. And yeah, I fell in love with them for some reason. They're quick, easy, especially if you don't have much time. If you're in the middle of doing something, you have a 5-minute break or something. It's easy to just go through a few, and you feel like you got something accomplished. As soon as the lights go out, I quickly run up the stairs into the room to avoid the monster. Problem is, there's always a human in front of me who closes the door before I can reach. Not going to lie, I was already enjoying that salami. That is, of course, until I woke up to see my uncle. Jesus! I know what they're implying, and it sounds horrible. For millions of years, I burn and freeze and choke, and I can't even hear my own screams. How could we ever think that immortality would be a good idea? Yeah, so I remember reading a post, and somebody wished for they I can't remember if they wished or what happened, but they gained immortality, and the price that came with immortality became it sounded absolutely excruciating. So it turns out they would live forever, but because they would live forever in that moment, so their cells would still die, of course. And they would feel every cell that died fall off of them. And it put them in pain. Well, eventually, because their cells did not regrow or anything, they began to have open wounds. And they began to lose limbs, fingers. They didn't scab up because there's no regeneration of cells. So what that person did was they found an old abandoned house with power somehow. They plugged in a laptop and they just sat on Reddit and just watched because they couldn't. They were so afraid to move because they thought it would cause even more skin to fall off. And they said they didn't know how long they had until they ceased all motor functions and they were already starting to barely being able to type. Thought of that terrifies me. I'm not big on immortality. I think there's enough scary stuff in life to just be done with it after about 60, 70 years for me. It is just before 8 a.m. The December air is a comfortable 73 degrees, the norm for Honolulu. I stepped out onto the Arizona's deck, turned to meet the drone coming in from the east, and to think to myself, those planes don't look American. So it's in Arizona. Where would they be? Mexican? Because I don't know. Maybe there's some drug dealer ones. Well, drone. Military drone? I know what those look like. I worked right next to them for the longest time. I don't know. Whatever. I'm trying to make too much sense out of it. I twirl my hair around my finger, staring at the beautiful man across from the bar as he smiles at me, already knowing that I'll be taking him home with me. After all, my last prisoner just died last night, and it'd be nice to replace him sooner rather than later. Succubus, probably. I'm going to go ahead and guess succubus. Fucking speed bump, Judd cursed, glancing in the rearview mirror. He pulled a U-turn, unable to accept that the man he'd just run over was still moving. 10 points. After their plane landed in the mountains, they made a pact that if or when a fellow would die, the other survivors are granted permission to consume their corpse. The timing couldn't be better, as the pilot succumbed to his wounds hours later. Or at least that's what they told the authorities when they were found. To be honest, though, I definitely see that happening. Like, yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. Like, if I start getting hungry and start getting crazy, you best believe that you're bigger than me. And I'm pretty big. Scientists finally made a camera capable of capturing a mirror's delay. What they can't explain is why they move first. Ooh. "Hello, little spoon," came the whisper in Maya's ear, raising goosebumps as the strong sensual arms cuddled her. She had no idea who was in her bed. Jesus. Seems like I keep stuttering. "We all have the one person or thing that inspires us to be more. For example, I have a degree in criminal justice and chemistry with concentration in forensic science because of Dexter." Jesus. So, kills people. Got it. Yeah, those military drones are pretty big. I worked on F-16s in the Air Force, and we had Global Hawks next to us, and they're pretty crazy looking. The heads look like something from Predator almost. I was out at Edwards Air Force Base, and I was the crew chief of the jet. Crew chief means something in other branches, but in Air Force, it's just the main mechanic for the jet. So I'll inspect, I'll repair, do preventative maintenance service, and then like send the jet out, bring it back. It's my jet. The pilot just uses it. But yeah, we got to see the Global Hawks all the time. Those things can stay in the air for like 3 days straight, just circling around. It's pretty crazy. And they do. They're really good for surveillance and for bombing the crap out of people. Yeah, I was at Edwards. It was, believe it or not, Edwards, Area 51 was a detachment of Edwards. So we got to see some pretty cool planes every so often. Not very often, because they usually land on another runway. Usually like a runway by NASA. We had NASA on base. But yeah, we usually didn't get to see them too much, but we got to see them every once in a while. My brother appeared at my door, saying, I go off the cruise ship before the quarantine. I let him stay in my home, but his coughing is keeping me up at night. My brother appeared at the door saying, I went off the cruise ship before the quarantine? Okay, it's bad grammar. That, for some reason that irritates me. People need to do spell check. Yeah, they do look pretty small in the air, but they're almost the size of like a regular jet. They don't have to be because they're unmanned, but still, like it's weird to see a jet with no canopy. There's like a pretend canopy there. It's still shaped like there is a canopy, like there should be glass right there, but there isn't glass. It's just like gray metal. And it'll always throw me off anytime I saw them. There's like a little camera in the front. And the funny thing is, like, when their crew chiefs have to launch them out, so usually the pilot would like give us signals, hand signals, and we give them back. That crew chief for the crew chief for the drones, they just have to watch what way the camera goes. And it's weird, like the camera move all kind, like up, down, left, all kinds of like directions to signal different things. It seems really impersonal to me. She turned her back to me so she can storm away, her threat of ratting me out to the cops still hanging in the air. Don't think she knows I have the still hot pistol hidden behind me. Jesus. I apparently can't. I apparently have issues reading. I don't think she knows that let me read that one more time. She turned her back to me so she can storm away, her threat of ratting me out to the cops still hanging in the air. I don't think she knows I have the still hot pistol hidden behind me. They knew today was the day, but they still pushed forward, never retreating. Saving lives was what they did, even if it meant losing their own. And so 343 firefighters perished that day. Jesus. That's like 2-sentence brave people. That doesn't belong in horror. Well, I guess it does. Sometimes before I go to bed, I want to say goodnight to myself, but I'm too scared of getting an answer. Me too. I keep forgetting to post the I keep forgetting to say the posters of this. This was XJOELX. I mean, I'm not going to link anything. I feel like I should still give them credit for writing these. I'm going through too many to link anything. Everybody was happy but me when it was announced that they've developed a vaccine to reverse the infection. Why did I have to be allergic? That sucks. I don't know if you were here when I talked about the other two sentence horror. So I'll say it again. This was posted by yours truly, Sergeant Scare. I got 100 followers today. I just wish they'd stop chanting and leave my yard. I actually got a good bit of upvotes for that one. Let's see. I'll switch it up a little bit. We'll go to free horror. Free horror stories. I don't need permission for these. Nah. There's one I know in particular because I was reading it the other day. So, one second. I just saw it. Where'd it go? Okay. The Carney. It's death something. Okay. I could have sworn I just saw it. Death shares. Okay. This is on r/free horror stories. And this is posted by Halas63. HALAS 63. Here is a scary story, like some of the ones at my blog. She lists her blog. And on my Android app. Captivating. Look, that kid caused all this. I was coming through the revolving door at the Hotel Meridian's front entrance when the boy handed me his doll. Have a look. Oh, so this was given to you? Oh, I just realized it's from... Oh, so this was given to you? Sure. Nothing supernatural or magic about it. It was a human thing. Maybe a 10-year-old kid's prank. Except the scrawny kid didn't talk to me. He looked away from eye contact and made a sign of the cross and gave it to me. He said you only have 2 more days to live. He said you only have 2 more days to live, you say. Yes, Detective Petrus. It isn't pretty, but it's unlike a lot of these in Nolans. It's actually New Orleans, but let's say Nolans. Sure, a bit of bone and feather, but it gave me a cold chill. I stuck it in my pocket, and the momentary distraction helped lead me to trip and fall through a section of glass plate door. And that's all you got. And that's how you got cut up like this and in the hospital? Yes, the nurse said a piece of glass just missed my carotid artery. But it's not why I called you guys. Being out of circulation means I can't check into what I came here for, which is to find out why a perfectly healthy man is dying in the next room, dying of the same reported concern I have just detailed to you about myself. Listen, Doc, if you believe in these curses, you can make them come true. I have interviewed your patient, and he does 100% believe, and he is failing fast. His doctor consulted with me, but I have not seen the patient. So what do you want us to do about it? I want you to find that kid who gave me... okay. So what do you want us to do about it? I want you to find that kid who gave me the doll and ask him to sell me 2 mojo bags to lift the curses. Look, Doc, no can do. But why? There was no kid. I've seen the security camera footage at that front door. You pulled that doll out of the hand of the man ahead of you. And that man looks exactly like the guy in the next room. I messed up the characters a little bit on that one. That was a little creepy. I got goosebumps. I don't know if you guys could keep up with my stammering, but yeah, that one got me. Let me find something I've read. We'll do creepy encounters. Let's do one from Creepy Encounters and maybe another one from Scary Stories and see what time it is by the end of that. All right, I've not read these ahead of time, so who knows if they're good or not. I'm 8 months pregnant and I had to take my dog to the vet a few days ago. I was sitting in the waiting room with my dog on my lap because she had anxiety and it cannot be anywhere but my arms when we were doing something scary like a trip to the vet. My bump isn't that big. My bump isn't that big, but I was wearing a tight maternity shirt that makes it look obvious I'm pregnant. So my dog was in my lap covering my bump. I'm the only one in the waiting room for a while until this man stumbles out of the restroom. His eyes immediately focus on my chest, then move up to my face, and he cracks a huge smile. I think to myself, great, here he comes. He walks hastily over to me and immediately starts talking about his dog and how great it is, how much he loves it. He goes on and on. I just nod and smile politely, wishing the receptionist would call me up so I could pay my bill and leave. He then tries to pet my dog without asking. My dog, who is shaking in fear, and she unsurprisingly snaps at him. He scolds me and tells me I need to train my dog in the most condescending voice possible, like I'm some invalid village idiot who doesn't know anything. Finally, the receptionist calls me up, and I can't wait to see the look on his face when he realizes I'm pregnant. He does look surprised, but not as much as I'd hoped. And he starts mumbling stuff behind me, still going on about God knows what, while the receptionist and I chat. He literally tries to talk over us as I'm paying my bill and asking her questions about a follow-up appointment. We just ignore him until he blurts out during a brief moment of silence. So I think your mama and I should go golfing sometime soon, to my dog. What the fuck? You want to take a heavily pregnant woman you just met golfing? He was asking me out on a date. My dog literally tried to bite his hand off, and he thinks that's his cue to hit on me. Or my dog literally just tried to bite his hand off, and he thinks that's his cue to hit on me. He had also mentioned sometime during his ramblings that he had a wife and daughter too. I wish I would have thought to clap back at the time and say, "Oh, I don't like hanging out with strange men, but maybe your wife would like to go with me sometime." But damn it, I was so shocked, and I just ignored him and continued to chat with the receptionist. I lost my... Okay. The ignoring worked, and he walked out the exit while I still stood there at the counter. The receptionist mouthed "sorry" to me, and I was just like, did that really happen? She said that she's had problems with him before. He often refuses to pay his bills and are asked if he can make deferred payments. She said his dog is really neglected too and needs more care than he provides. I told her it wasn't her fault, and I was sorry she had to deal with him, and I hope she can ban him. She said she would see what she can do. I walk out of the vet, and the weirdo is just sitting in his car with the engine running, just staring at me with a creepy smile. I can't walk that fast due to hip pain from pregnancy, but I'd waddled the fastest I could to my car and left hoping he wouldn't follow me. The next day, one of the clinic vets calls me early in the morning and wakes me up. I thought they were going to talk about my dog, and I was really startled and worried, but the vet just apologized for the guy's behavior. She said the receptionist told her everything that had happened and how uncomfortable I looked, and that they weren't going to allow him there anymore. Even though they woke me up to tell me that when it was my one day to sleep in, I was really happy to hear that he would be banned for the receptionist's sake. She was probably waiting for something inexcusable like that to happen so she could get that guy banned without it specifically involving her and making her look like the difficult one. So I happily confirmed everything the receptionist said about what had happened and thanked the vet for calling me to apologize. I know you can hear noises in between. I know you can probably hear noises in between me reading. That's me moving in my seat. I'm a fidgeter. Let's see. Here's one. It's called Creepy Dude in Leather. That just has all the right signs there. Let me take a sip of my drink real quick. This one's called Creepy Dude in Leather by Tardish Trey. Looks like a Doctor Who reference. Haven't watched Doctor Who in like years. I love how when you're moving, you always seem to end up in a Walmart with a list of things you need because you had forgotten to get them in the move or just need to replace them. I took my best friend with me to a random Walmart trip to find a few things we needed for our apartment while we waited for my husband to finish an errand. It was a typical bedhead. No actual clothes, just PJ's type of day. Since it was raining out. Okay. There's a lot of commas here. It's throwing me off. It was a typical bedhead, no actual clothes, just PJ's type of day, since it was raining out, so we didn't really look like we did when we wanted to be presentable, as she says. We got a cart and started walking the aisles as unusual looking. All right, let me try this again. We got a cart and started walking the aisles as usual. Okay, I'm going to try to read this the best I can, but there's like a lot of errors. I apologize in advance. We got a cart and started walking the aisles as usual, looking for the items we needed, and we're just trying to find what we needed and get going before the rain hit worse. I started having a really creepy vibe from somewhere I couldn't place in one of the aisles. Normally, I don't mind it because it's Walmart, you know? So we start down a row for trash cans, and I feel a pair of eyes on me, and it feels like someone is staring at me. I had seen him down another aisle. This guy had on a brown leather jacket, some jeans, and a pink mom balloon or bag he was carrying around. He acted like he was just watching us for our next moves. I started looking around I started looking around me, and my friend was next to me, reaching for the same trash can next to me, as this guy came up on the side of me and started talking to someone I couldn't see. I had gotten her to look at I'd gotten her to look at me and mouth, "Do you get a creepy vibe too?" Okay. I'd gotten her to look at me and mouth, "Do you get a creepy vibe too?" She looked at me and nodded, and I said, "Let's go to another row and look at something." And sure enough, the creepy dude started talking to someone on his phone about what I was wearing and her. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. This is like painful to read almost. It's like, okay, let me try that again. So she looked at me and nodded, and I said, "Let's go to another row," and looked at something, and sure enough, creepy dude started talking to someone on his phone about what I was wearing and her. She started talking. We started talking down another row, walking. I'm pretty sure they meant to say walking. We started walking down another row, and we noticed he was going down the opposite one following us. I had her turn the card around, and he was turning around to follow us again to another aisle. I mean, one can say, I mean, one I can say would be normal because it happens, but 3 aisles following us and talking to someone about what we were wearing and that we were leaving, huge red flag. Hold on one second. Okay, thought somebody was walking around. Everybody's supposed to be in bed right now. Okay. I mean, one I can say would be normal because it happens. But 3 aisles following us and talking to someone what we were wearing and that we were leaving? No. Huge red flag. We waited until this guy thought we were going towards the exit and let him get further away from the aisle where we let him get further away from the aisle we were in and run towards the way coming. Okay. These commas are throwing me off. They're either everywhere or nowhere. And the grammar isn't great either. We waited until this guy thought we were going towards the exit and let him get further away from the aisle we were in and run towards the way we came, ignoring to get the rest of what we came here for, and found an employee what was happening. Told an employee what was happening. Jesus, I could do a section on horribly written stories next. Thankfully, we were able to get the door greeter and let them know and have them watch our way out so we weren't followed to my car. How eerily creepy it is to think I was by myself and this happened, where I could have gotten our what would have happened to me. Where I could have gotten our what would have happened. What? Stay safe out there, everyone, and make sure to listen to the instincts in case something feels off. I know I will be carrying my knife on me more often now. Okay. That was painful to read. There were commas everywhere and nowhere. Like, words were messed up. I'm like guessing at words. Okay. That was fun. Since I'm talking about horribly written scary stories, there's one in particular. There's one in particular I love. It's horribly written, and I feel like it's supposed to be horribly written. One second, I'm going to pull it up. All right. This is an old. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about older. I don't know how long it's been around. It's been around for a while. Man and girl go out to drive under moonlight. They stop at a side of road. He turned to his girl and say, "Baby, I love you very much." "What is it, honey?" "Our car is broken down. I think the engine is broken. I'll walk and get some more fuel." "Okay, I'll stay here and look after our stereo. There have been news report of stairs being stolen." "Good idea. Keep the doors locked no matter what. I love you, sweaty." So the guy left to get more fuel for the car. After 2 hours, the girl say, "Where is my baby? He was supposed to be back by now." And then the girl hear a scratching sound and a voice say, Let me in." The girl doesn't do it, and then after a while she goes to sleep. The next morning she wakes up and finds her boyfriend still not there. She gets out to check. And man door, hand hook, car door. So yeah, that's my favorite terribly written creepypasta. I'm glad you like it. That's still to my like. I'll go back and randomly read that one. It's definitely my favorite. Um, I don't know what that was. I think that was my stomach just there. But I think I'm live on 2 streams right now. That's all right. I don't know. Just trying to check it out real quick. Okay. So I think this went well so far. I'm gonna go ahead and read one more, and then we'll get off. And thanks. Glad you liked it. I'm gonna go ahead and read one more, and then we'll get off. We'll do this next Saturday. So I'm planning on doing this every Saturday. I'll put a vote on Twitter or something. I hate social media. I normally stay away from social media, but I've been trying to get better at it for this whole thing. I don't have a community tab in YouTube, so this is like the only way. Twitter's like the only way I can really talk to anybody from the channel. But I'll go ahead and put like a poll and put a few things in and see what everybody wants. But yeah, I depending on what it is, it might last from 1 hour to 4 hours next time. So there will be a poll for it. Okay, this is I don't know why, but it's just my absolute favorite creepypasta, and it's really actually I'll read one more after this because this one isn't really creepy, and I feel like this one is kind of a cheat for a creepypasta or for a horror story or whatever you want to call it. I don't like using the word creepypasta, so I just say horror. All right. It was a car accident. Nothing particularly remarkable, but fatal nonetheless. You left behind a wife and 2 children. It was a painless death. The EMTs tried their best to save you, but to no avail. Your body was so utterly shattered that you were better off. Trust me. And that's when you met me. What happened? You asked. Where am I? You died, I said. Matter-of-factly. No point mincing words. There was a truck and it was skidding. Yep, I said. I I died? Yep, but don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies, I said. You looked around. There was nothingness, just you and me. What is this place, you asked? Is this the afterlife? More or less, I said. Are you God? You asked. Yep, I'm God. My kids, my wife, you said. What about them? Will they be all right? That's what I like to see, I said. You just died and your main concern is for your family. That's good stuff right there. You looked at me with fascination. To you, I didn't look like God. I just looked like some man, some vague authority figure, more of a grammar school teacher than the Almighty. Don't worry, I said. They'll be fine. Your kids will remember you as perfect in every way. They didn't have time to grow contempt for you. Your wife will cry on the outside, but will be secretly relieved. To be fair, your marriage was falling apart, and if it's any consolation, she'll feel very guilty for feeling relieved. Oh, you said. So what happens now? Do I go to heaven or hell or something? Neither, I said. You'll be reincarnated. Ah, so the Hindus were right. All the religions were right in their own way, I said. Walk with me. You followed along as we strolled in the void. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular. It's just nice to walk while we talk. So what's the point then? You asked. When I get reborn, I'll just be a blank slate, right? A baby. So all my experiences and everything I did in this life won't matter. Not so. You have within you all of the knowledge and experiences of your past life. You just don't remember them right now. I stopped walking and took you by the shoulders. Your soul is more magnificent, beautiful, and gigantic than you can possibly imagine. A human mind can only contain a tiny fraction of what you are. It's like sticking your finger in a glass of water to see if it's hot or cold. You put a tiny part of yourself in the vessel, and when you bring it back out, you gained all the experiences it had. You've been a human for the last 34 years, so you haven't stretched out yet and felt the rest of your immense consciousness. If we hung out here for longer, you'd start remembering everything. But there's no point doing that between each life. How many times have I been reincarnated then? Oh, lots and lots. And into lots of different lives, I said. This time around you'll be a Chinese peasant girl in 540 AD. Wait, what? You stammered. You're sending me back in time? Well, I guess technically. Time as you know it only exists in your universe. Things are different where I'm from. Where do you come from? You pondered. Oh, sure, I explained. I come from somewhere else. And there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like, but you honestly won't understand. Oh, you said, a little let down. But wait. If I get reincarnated to other places in time, could I have interacted with myself at some point? Sure, it happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own time span, you won't even know it's happening. So what's the point of it all? Seriously? I asked. Seriously? You're asking me for the meaning of life. Isn't that a little stereotypical? Well, it's a reasonable question, you persisted. I looked in your eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. For you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? No, just you. I made this whole universe for you. With each new life, you grow and mature and become a larger and greater intellect. Just me? What about everyone else? There is no one else, I said. In this universe, there's just you and me. You stared blankly at me. But all the people on Earth. All you. Different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone? Now you're getting it, I said with a congratulatory slap on the back. I'm every human who ever lived. Or ever will live, yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln. And you're John Wilkes Booth, too, I added. I'm Hitler, you said, appalled. And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus. And you're everyone who followed him. You fell silent. Every time you victimize someone, I said, you are victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was or will be experienced by you. Why, you ask me? Why do all of this? Because someday you will be like me. Because that is what you are. You're one of my kind. You're my child. Whoa, you said, incredulous. You mean I'm a god? No. Not yet. You're a fetus. You're still growing. Once you've lived every human life throughout time, you will have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe, you said, it's just an egg of sorts, I answered. Now it's time for you to move on to your next life. And with that, I sent you on your way. That's my favorite one. I don't know why. It's just one of those things that, like, I guess it just makes you think. It's not really scary as much as, I mean, I guess it could be, depending on beliefs and everything else, but it's one of those things that, like, is like, what's going on? You just randomly ponder back every once in a while. Is that, I wonder, could that be true? Okay, we'll do one more mildly scary one. Oops, not wrong website. Okay. That's the wrong one. One moment. Okay, I got one. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. If it sounds like I'm farting, I'm not. I'm just on a leather chair. I promise. I've been supposed to read this one for a while. They're really small, so I just kind of forget about it. I'm trying to remember which one is the first one. Okay, I think it's this one. Okay. This one's called DARK. Looks like an acronym. DARK. By Art Beast 247. They are the broken, broken by their pain, horror, anger, and loss from the nightmares of the world. But once recruited by Dark, they go through brutal and extensive mental and physical training, necessary to change them, numb them to fear and all the other emotions that fear brings. After being subjected to see photos, videos, and audio of PTs, mainly the PT that took their loved ones from them, they are subjected to see other victims of PTs, what's left of them, and sometimes there are no bodies, just stories of pain. Lastly, they're subjected to relive the attack they're subjected to relive the attack and loss they experienced again and again until they no longer feel pain, but anger, disgust, and drive. Either way, when in one room together, everyone sees their own pain as well as the others, and together they share their pain, anger, and disgust. Together they become new, numb, and stronger and better than before. To become physically numb, they're subjected to training from the lowest standard to the highest until they've got through training more extreme and the most elite around the world. Again and again, they go through it until they no longer tire from or are hurt from any of it, and by the end of it, they make the Coast Guard look like children just learning how to swim. The elite of every military and Olympic athletes look like freshmen in high school. Our privates fresh out of high school. Look like freshmen in high school or privates fresh out of high school. Okay. This is one of the reasons the U.S. military, Coast Guard, and police respect them as much as they do. On top of being saved by them more times than they can count. Once in mental and physical peak, they are incubated and treated to a series of redacted into... Wait, what? I'm sorry. Once in mental and physical peak, they are incubated and treated to a series of redacted into the redacted... Okay. They're treated into a series of redacted into their redacted and redacted. This numbs their pain and ability to feel or express it. Makes their body easier to gain muscle and become fit faster and easier. They also increase metabolism and brain power, which gives them faster and enhanced reflexes and senses. They don't tire, but they do get hungry. They can eat whatever they want. However, an unforeseen side effect to their training and enhancements they become completely emotionally numb and dull. So they have to use redacted, or APR for short. To portray themselves as normal, to not make the public population feel any more uncomfortable than they already do. In the face of the living world, where monsters and beings of supernatural and paranoid are real and exist. They train in a mix of fighting styles, with a new focus on brutal hard-hitting style, gunsmithing and marksmanship of all firearms, mounted and handheld, as well as the art of sword, every fighting style, every weapon, and how to gunsmith, and blacksmith in the field. On-the-go modifications depending on attack with certain PTs are if said agent loses their primary weapons. They study every PT. I think PT is paranormal person. I don't know. They study every PT known, feeding their breeding patterns, behavioral patterns, and quirks that give away their human guises, languages, combat abilities, and weaknesses, and how to kill them. But the last thing they learn are all the PTs that are off limits to even them in regard to combat. If they ever come into contact with one or several, they'll fall back to inform their Comanche. The team leads are the most elite Dark can offer. We run, people die. We fear, people die. We do not run. and we do not fear. You do not run. You do not fear. They do. Osmond Theus, the first ever agents of Dark and Comanches. So I think I read that in the wrong order. Oh, okay. So here's a so this whole thing is like a list. So here's another section of Dark. It's this one's a lot shorter. Part PT number 5050, the stairs. Random staircases can be found in the middle of the forest of America. Each are level A security and priority. Only Comanches can break the 10-mile perimeter, or if the Comanche or Comanches bring a team with them. But even then, the Comanches can touch or step on the. Comanches can touch or step onto the said stairs. Each staircase serves a different perversion on and in our world. Some simply kill everything and everyone within a 10-mile perimeter and are with an invisible blade that didn't disturb the air or anything it touches. It's as if the blade is already there, but not, and stepping onto the stair makes it present. The other stairs make random people, usually kids in the woods, doing whatever disappear. Some let us hear the voices of other dimensional gods and beings that drive people mad or turn their insides to mush. Very few stairs return people back to our world. Sometimes they come back where they're taken are miles, states, even across the world. Okay, I think that was written a little weird. Others have come back with no memory of who they were, regardless of age. There's only been one staircase that has been found that helps us, heals the wounded or poisoned. It brings back the dead with no consequences, turns other PTs, paranormal target, that's what it stands for, into ash once they're in its perimeter. Dark has attempted to destroy these staircases, but all that have tried have met the most unimaginable ends, and they are taken by whatever force possesses the stairs. PT-001, the voice, Alpha. As it sounds, it is simply a voice that can be heard in one or many heads at the same time, spanning a couple of meters worldwide. Whoever or whatever this voice belongs to is not of this world and has never made itself be seen or known. The voice was first heard before the PTs of the world attacked humanity all over the world in a coordinated attack, which forced Dark to come into the light, so to speak. Dark knows nothing and nothing more and nothing less. Again, only theories by Comanches who have heard the voice on their own. Some say it's the god of other worlds, or of another world. Others say it belongs to Stan, the man, since it speaks the same way about humanity as he does. I don't know who Stan the man is. The founder believed it to be the voice of God. The founder believed it to be the voice of God. Humanity so blindly worshipping. Maybe he's giving humanity a reason to really believe in him again. Maybe he's giving humanity a reason to really believe in him again, or to fear him again. Punishment, maybe, or some new fucked up version of Noah's Ark flood. The one thing the founder did know was that the voice was and isn't happy that humanity believes and relies in/on Dark. Guessing a voice wanted humanity to reject Dark and believe in him/it. There has only been one incident where an agent talked back to the voice with insults and was lifted into the air without a sound before exploding in blood. Not a trace left. Not even his gear. That was mildly creepy. So I don't I've seen SCP before. I don't remember what that stands for. I don't know. I was trying to think of it. I don't remember what SCP stands for. Um, at work, it stands for spill containment procedure, but if I don't use it in the um, I can't think of it. I know I've definitely heard it before, and I know I've probably used it a bunch of times. It's been a while. All right. Um, Trying to think if there was anything else I need to say. I'm pretty much. It's about bedtime for me. I've got to wake up early in the morning and take my wife and kid to Mardi Gras parade. So I'm trying to think if there's anything I needed to say. Oh, yeah. So we're at 85 out of 100 subscribers. Let me check actually, see if the number went up. I doubt it did. It never goes up. No, I'm just kidding. It goes up. Yeah, it's still at 85 subscribers. So you have 15 subscribers, secured, contained, forget. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have 15 subscribers until I'm going to go ahead and give away that SpaceX patch. So once again, that'll be the CRS, I think it was 12. Oh, the CRS 8 mission patch for SpaceX. And it's an employee patch with its employee number and everything on it. Go ahead and like this narration. the old normal thing. Like the narration. Please share. The more I get out there, the better. If I get enough subscribers, I'll literally make a post every single day. It's a lot of work to do that and what I do for a living. So I build rockets for a living, and it takes a lot of time. All right, it's a lot of time and energy. But yep, that's it for me. Until next time, I'll be posting on Saturday. I'll be posting on Monday like normal. All right, have a good night.